You ever feel like crap and you think, the last thing I want to do today is go out into that shop and fight that F100. But then you think, if I don't do this truck is never going to get done and driving and out on the road. So, you power through and you just go out and do the best you can, which is exactly what I've done today. The best I can. I worked on the roof today because I thought, I don't know, I feel like crap. I don't feel like sanding filler. So I climbed up onto this, looked at this again and said, geez, this looks like a blast. I think I will climb up here and hover over the roof with my stud gun and grinder and hammers and pry bars, and surely this will make me feel better today. Well, it kind of did, in that I got the top ready for filler. So the good news is it came out pretty good, but the bad news is I've still got a ton of work to do on it, because I'm pretty much the whole edge, probably from here 8 to 10 inches all the way around, is going to be, I think I can get away with one coat of gold filler and just smooth it out. So that's what we're going to do, but that's not what we're going to do today. We're going to call it quits for the day. It's good enough. Well, I got the roof skimmed. Not a lot on there. You can see it. It's pretty thin right there. Probably the worst is across the back, but still the metal came out pretty good on that, so there's not going to be a lot left on this roof by the time I take all that down. So show it to you when it's all knocked down. Back of the cab didn't turn out too bad. This is the side. It just had a couple of small dents here, and then I filled the gas filler neck hole, and then, you know, the molding holes. Had that little dent there, and this was the part that was really ugly. That was bashed in pretty good. So just this is just the rough coat, the first coat. Skim it with some gold, should be good to go. Wow, what a long night, but I feel like I accomplished something so well worth it. Backs of the cab corners, done. A couple of pinholes I'll get filled up, but they are, for the most part, finished bodywork wise. All right, let's talk about the top. Came out exactly like I thought. Smooth, and one coat of the gold took care of it. Again, a couple of pinholes and stuff like that, but it is really fun sanding the front of the roof in the center while you're straddled, your foot on the top of the engine, other foot on, you know, right next to the hood hinge here, bouncing back and forth on both sides, being very careful not to step on anything that won't hold my big ass. So, but I did that first so I could say, okay, I'm done with that, and then worked my way around the roof. Wow, am I glad that this, as I fall on my ass, is done. All right, let's finish out that low spot too, and there was a little area down there. Took care of that. I still have to take care of this. I got to get my little puller and just pull those up to the right height. Then everything else is just clean it up, mask it up, prime it up. After I get a couple of pinholes filled up, there's a couple there, and not a big deal. one round. It'll kind of look like this when it's done. Just fill those little dudes up. That's it. What is that noise? It's alive. Oh God, I hope it can stop. Apparently it was done. So we're back on the doors. The inside of these doors got blasted back when we did that. Me and Cam had a guy come out and do some blasting for us. So the unfortunate thing is they've been sitting around for months. They're not rusted bad, but they need cleaned up. Where some idiot grabbed it with their bare hands. That's what that will do when you grab bare metal with your bare hands. And who knows when I did that, probably right off the bat, when it was nice and freshly blasted. So, but I'll get that cleaned up. That's not a problem. It's not like it's a rust through deal. Show you what I use. This is what I use. You've heard me talk about it before. I call it the soft wheel of death. Haven't had any issues with these things, but they are not designed to go this many RPMs. So you got to keep this thing turned down. That's why I got a regulator on it. But it does a great job. It's a fiber, but I don't know if you can see it, the reflection. There's some kind of soft metal in there, like a brass or something. But they work really good. You've seen me use them on some other stuff. But I'm just going to take this, clean up that stuff there, run around it with some 320, maybe 240 to knock it down, and then 320. Sand up the bottom edges pretty good because this part from here, the door panel just goes in this area right here. So you'll see this upper part. You'll see this lower part. So we're just going to go around and get everything cleaned up. Got some stuff for my welding. Got to clean up there, clean up a little there. And then I will epoxy prime these. And right after I epoxy prime them, I'll leave them. Got to clean this up here with weld through on the mirror holes from the other side. So epoxy prime, and as soon as it dries, it'll get scuffed and I will seam seal it. Actually, I'll probably scuff the entire door on the inside. Seam seal it and paint them. I'm going to go straight over it very quickly. So if I timed it right, that epoxy primer is also a sealer. The only problem is I've got seam sealing to do. So otherwise I could just clean it up, hit it with the epoxy primer sealer, and paint right over it. But going to need some dry time for the seam sealer. So I'll get that done. But right now, let's get these things cleaned up and sanded up. And then we're going to move to filling pinholes, knock that out. And I got a couple other things I want to do today. Mainly getting this thing ready to prime the cab itself and the inside the doors and stuff. Let's do it. So it's probably best that I don't keep the camera rolling sometimes, because the last half an hour would have been rated, what is it? MA for mature audiences only. See all that? All that crunchy, black, crusty, what used to be window channel weather strip. Wow. The stuff that went right in there. Yeah. This stuff. Well, apparently it is petrified. And the only way to really get it out is to take a screwdriver and use it as a chisel to just bust it up and get it to break out. So that's been fun. And I only have, one more to go. Rated MA for mature only. Very, very productive day today. Feel pretty good. Got the cowl done. Pulled the windshield wiper nubs back so I could strip in those little holes there, those divots. Got the final filling on the pinholes on the bodywork, on the back of the cab, the roof, cab corners, both sides. Just a couple little bit of pinholage filled up. There's that one. Got these grills that were pushed down, got those straightened out good enough. So, also, check out these doors. Ooh, baby. They look good. And what doesn't look good will look a lot better after it gets epoxy primed and seam sealed. So, they cleaned up real nice. They're great. So, I will epoxy prime these. Once that dries, I will scuff them, probably with just a scuff pad, maybe some 320. And then I will lay a little bit of seam sealer in the like little welded area back here. I'm probably only going to do from about here down because there's no seam sealer in these from the factory. So I'm just going to lay a real thin coat down around there, put a thin coat in there. But that's it up on this top side, probably just right there where I did that welding on both doors. Otherwise, we are good to go. And I sucked in a lot of dust today. Didn't wear my dust mask as often as I should have. So, let's get out of this shop and get into celebrating New Year's Eve.